Well, my dad's a lawyer, and I guess it's a good profession. It's a profession that will give you returns even as you get older. As compared to an athlete, once you're like 35, 40, medyo pababa na yung returns mo. At least lawyer, you can as a lawyer you can keep improving as you get older. It's a viable profession, and it's a profession that helps other people. There were a lot of times that I had to choose law school over football, and sometimes I chose football over law school. But in the end, law school won. When I reached third year law school, our club team, Loyola FC, started becoming more serious. So the trainings became more intense. It became more frequent. So I wasn't able to balance. I was afraid I wouldn't be able to balance law school and football. And since law school was patapos na, I decided to stick with it. So I told the manager I couldn't commit to the first team, and if I could just play with the second team, and they agreed. So in the end, I still got to play a bit of football on the side and got to concentrate on my law degree. Well, actually, a lot of people ask me, how are you going to balance law school once you're married? It actually helped more.
Really?
Yeah, because before my wife and I got married, I'd have to drop her home. So that's extra 30 minutes. So now that we're married, I have extra 30 minutes at home to study. So it's more practical. And you have more time together. You don't have to sacrifice a date because you have to study, because when you get home, your wife is there. You spend time together, you sleep in the same bed. So it actually helped me better. Proper. I started I think May 1 or May 2.
Okay.
And then my regiment was 8 hours a day.
Okay.
8 hours a day. So I get to the library. I used to study in Loyola, the Loyola campus, because I lived in the area during the bar review. I'd get to the library around 9, study for 3 hours, 12 o'clock, take a break, go to mass in the college chapel. And then, siguro mga 1 to 6, 1 to 5, kanyan. And then, there was a time that I had to go to the States because the family of my wife was there. We had to visit them. And I took my law stuff with me, and I just studied there, 8 hours a day also.
See the same cycle.
Same cycle, but instead of the library, I was studying in Barnes & Noble. It was fun. And then I got a lot of support from my family because I got to finish a subject there, so I didn't have review materials for other subjects. They just FedExed it to me. So there. Yeah, law school's a team effort. Taking the bar's a team effort. No one can do it alone. A lot of the things I learned from football, I got to apply it in law school. For example, our coach, my dear Coach Ompong, was even my ninong in our wedding. He always told us that if you can't do things in practice, you won't be able to do it in the field during the game. So I applied that in law school. I always made sure that I got to do the required readings, do the homework, study it well, because I knew that once you get into class and you get called randomly for recitation, anything could happen. And once you're prepared, once you have that catalog of knowledge in your head, you can just pick it out as fast as you can if you're prepared. So that really helped.
Preparation.
Yeah, preparation. It's all
Do you
preparation.
have another question?
I'll go for criminal law.
Bakit naman?
It's just, I found it more interesting to study. Not necessarily to practice, but the cases were more exciting. Yes, I'm currently working for Salvador and Perez. And I plan to continue working there. I want to get into taxation law and corporation law.
Okay.
Yeah.
No government?
No government.
Why
No.
not?
I think they can handle their own. And I think more work needs to be done also in the side of the private sector. Because I always believed, and my friends always believed, that change doesn't happen just because of the government. You need the citizens, you need good people, good citizenry, people in the private sector, the business sector, to just all come together, do their own rules, and the sum of it will be a better country. With the judiciary right now, what's wrong? I guess it's a problem that's been a problem ever since delayed justice. But you can't really blame the judges because as of now, if I'm not mistaken, their numbers aren't that many to handle all the cases happening. So there. I guess more usual integrity. What do you call it? What do you call this class? Transparency.
Okay, transparency.
Transparency, yeah.
You know,
Yeah, so there.
medyo nasabog.
I'm happy that Justice Sereno's at the helm. And then I'm happy that she has like 17 years left, 18 to 17 years left. This can, as long as she has good intentions in her heart, I think she can, what do you call this, bring change in the judiciary. And so far, I think it's a fresh face, someone new. You always need someone new to steer things up. So you can have change, and it could be fast change, like in Naga, diba? With Secretary Robredo as the former mayor. Change there happened rapidly, as long as people cooperated. So I think if people put their self-interest aside and put the interest of the people at first, I think there can be changes quickly in the judiciary. They actually asked me to give a speech on it.
Okay.
In front of all the lawyers and everything. At that time, we found it very interesting because most of us, like law students, we don't have any experience going to court, diba? So we'd always just read the codals, and it was the first time most of us saw what we were studying in action, diba? And it was a geek fest for us law students, and we also saw how people viewed lawyers. For example, us law students, we revered the lawyers, both the defense and the prosecution. But you see the other side, the people who didn't take law, they despised the defense, diba? So we saw the different views when it comes to how you see a lawyer. And for me, it opened my eyes to see that people might not see the profession you're going to enter into as highly as you do, and how are you going to deal with it? So there, I guess the only way you can deal with it is being the best lawyer that you can be. And it doesn't mean that you win all the cases. It means being honest, having integrity, keeping to your word. So actually, those are all given by the lawyer's oath. Yeah, transparency, and then actually I think that's the biggest thing that I took out of it. And the whole issues. How we saw the gaps in the law. For example, the exceptions to the Foreign Currency Deposit Act didn't apply to impeachment cases. So there. But I mean, as people who studied the law, those are things that you realized that law really it evolves. It's not like you put down a law that's going to be perfect. So that's one of the things that we learned. I don't agree with the law, with the rule. Okay, I don't agree with the rule because the rule doesn't consider other aspects of being a student and being an athlete. For example, I graduated from Ateneo, and I'm an athlete also of the Ateneo High School. But if I wanted to take up architecture, which the Ateneo doesn't have, will my move to UP? I mean, how can you punish a student in moving to a school with a course that he wants? How can you punish him from playing the sport that he loves for 2 years? I mean, if they're trying to quell like bad recruitment practices, there are other ways than banning a student from playing for 2 years. It's an open secret that there are recruitment practices that shouldn't be applied to amateur sports. In the States, you have the NCAA rules. The boosters can't give money to the students, can't even give shoes. Why can't we just apply the same rules to the UAAP instead of having these 2-year bans? No, I mean, I don't find it logical or reasonable. And we studied in law. For example, it's a law. And then how do you attack a law for being, how do you attack a law in general if you want to say it's unconstitutional? You have to check if there's a valid purpose and if the means are reasonable to achieve that purpose. What's the purpose of this 2-year rule? And is a 2-year residency ban on playing, is it reasonable to get this, to get the what do you call this, the goal? I don't think so. It makes me really sad because as much as you want to celebrate individual achievements, you want to celebrate it with your friends and the people. You want everyone to pass. So and some of my friends didn't get to pass. So I really feel for them because studying for the bar is really hard. You lose 6 months of your life studying for it, and then another 6 months waiting for the results to come out. I guess if you look at cause and effect, last year it was purely multiple choice, and then you had 30%, 29% passing rate. Basta mataas. 2011, di ba ang taas? And then this year, they shifted to 60% multiple choice, 40% essay. Tapos biglang baba. So if you look at it purely cause and effect, I guess the exam format really affected the passing rate. And the exams were really long.
Really?
Yeah, because you expect, 60% multiple choice. You expect 60 questions multiple choice, 40 questions essay. What happened was, it was still 100 questions multiple choice, and then you had to answer 10 to 30 questions of essay. So, well, for me, I just wanted to apply, I just wanted to apply the law into the context of sports. So, I wanted to, like what you said, UAP rule, that can be a sports law issue. Can be a constitutional issue as well.
Right.
And then, for example, in torts law, my thesis was on whether or not you can sue someone for injuring you while you were playing basketball or football. And to another level, whether you can sue the coach or how can you impose liability on the coach of that person who injured you. So that's what I talk about when I say sports law. Like, different fields of law being applied in the context of sports. Siguro worst ko parang kay Dean Candelaria. He just asked me something, tas hindi ko masagot. Tas he just asked me to sit down. Kailangan makapal din yung mukha mo. You don't get too high with the highs, don't get too low with the lows. Because someday, randomness is really gonna bite you in the butt. Whether you study or not, diba? Because everything's random. So there. Don't take the first 4 years of law school for granted. You prepare for the bar the moment you step into first year law school. Everything you learn from first year to fourth year, it's gonna be asked in the bar. Or most of the things that were asked in the bar, you should have already known. So, most of it's stock knowledge. The review is basically just review. So, concentrate first to fourth year, and you'll be fine.